welcome back to another Trinity video. We're not at the Adawehi Institute tonight, we're in my dining room. That's because there's a wonderful Christmas gift sale going on at the Adawehi Institute. We encourage you to come by and check it out if you live anywhere near Columbus, North Carolina. We're talking about the energy of trust tonight. This is a big one. A lot of people have asked for this one. It's an important energy, and hopefully this exercise that we do is going to show you how to bring more of it into your life so that you can be right there meditating with us on trust this Wednesday for our weekly meditation. So we're going to get right into self-defense exercise, and I'm going to bring out my training partner, Bob. This is a pretty simple one. All great self-defense techniques, I believe, are based on the idea that you don't need to learn something fancy you already know. This one, you definitely already know. It's just a big step. It's kind of a stomp kick. And what it's useful for is if you're facing a person and you notice that their leg is not turned directly towards you. It's turned a little bit out or a little bit in. This is a perfect time to do this technique, and you can lay them on the ground and get the heck out of there as quick as possible. So, for this exercise, we're going to assume that my leg is drifted a little bit open. My knee is kind of pointing there instead of straight at Bob. I'm going to throw a punch. He's going to just basically step on that leg. He's going to take his back foot, lift it up like he's taking a big step, and step right there. Go ahead, step. Boom! And down I go. Easiest thing in the world. You don't have to know a technique. If I tell you to punch somebody, you're like, well, do I use my knuckles or the back of my hand? If I tell you to kick somebody, you're like, well, the toes or the heel. But if I say stomp, everybody knows how to stomp. That's all you're doing. You're just picking up your foot and stomping. You are going to do something with your hands. It's kind of like this thing here has got to be dealt with. So he's going to sort of swim with this hand, swim and stomp. That's really all the technique is. So here comes the punch. He swims and he stomps, and down I go. Easiest technique in the world. We're going to do it again. Swim, stomp, and down. Anybody can do this. You can instantly add it to your repertoire of self-defense techniques without any sort of special training. All you have to be able to do is walk funny. Your back leg and your opposite hand. So, here and here. Here and here. Here and here. Turn around. Here. Oops, excuse me. Here and here. All you're doing is lifting that back leg, because we're assuming that your front leg's towards the enemy. Back leg up, and taking a big funny step. You look like that guy from the old 60s ads, Mr. Natural, keep on trucking. It's sort of like that. Your foot turns out a little bit, and you stomp. Foot turns out a little bit, and you stomp. And then you just add the hands. Swim, stomp. Swim, stomp. Swim, stomp. That's really all you need to do. If you need the self-defense technique, I hope it's there for you. But if for some reason you never use the self-defense technique, I'm okay with that. All I want you to really know tonight is that when you do this, believe it or not, excuse me, this side, you're building trust. But Russell, how could that be? How can funny walking build trust? Well, most places that you look, most books you read, most people that get interviewed talking about how do you build trust in an organization or a team, they're going to tell you stuff like, be predictable, do the same thing over and over again, tell people what you're doing, be transparent. What they're really saying is, let people know what your picture is so they can get used to it. That's not really trusting who you are. That's just getting to the place where they are familiar with your predictable outcomes. What if things change? What if you strike off in a new direction? What if they strike off in a new direction? What if the whole relationship changes? How can they still trust you if you are nothing but a series of predictable boxes for them. So that's not really trust. Trust is not really about letting people know what you're going to do and always doing the same thing and shaking their hand and carrying through on what you said you were going to do. We think that that's trust, but that's really just your lower mind, emotions, and physical habits being very predictable. And people like that. They like when their habits can fit with your habits, and they call that trust. But that's not real trust. Real trust is when you begin to get into your subconscious that you can step out of your comfort zone and still be okay. Those big steps out of your comfort zone program your subconscious that you can trust yourself. And when you can trust your spirit to carry through whenever you step out of your big, safe comfort zone into a scary new place, when you take a big step, you're telling your subconscious, I'm okay with big steps. I'm okay with getting out of my comfort zone. I can trust that I will still create even when I'm not in my predictable little box. And when you can trust that in yourself, other people begin to pick up on that. And that's when they really are trusting who you are and not just the predictable habits of what you do. If you think this stuff's important, you should stay tuned for more Trinity.